Hello Learning Designers. The goal of this video is to provide you with an overview of the Learning Designers project and ultimately to pitch you on the importance of this work. In order to do that, I'm going to navigate through the learningdesignersproject.weebly.com, which is a resource that you can access and continue to work through and refer back to throughout the project. So ultimately, the Learning Designers project is about you becoming a learning designer, about you coming up with your own response to our driving question, how might I design learning that meets students' needs? What I want for you from this project is for you to be able to move into your practicum and your interview with prospective employers, and most importantly with your own classroom that you begin teaching at, with a vision of yourself as a learning designer and a foundational set of beliefs and practices to support you to design learning for student need. To do that, we're going to work through a project-based learning design. We're going to use a lot of professional processes and tools that I've developed and worked with as a teacher and as a leader in school system. Ultimately, you're going to create 4 deliverables. We're going to go into greater detail with each of these deliverables as in the associated learning task videos and as we move through the course. But what I want you to know is that at the very core is going to be designing a unit, an interdisciplinary unit plan. I like to use the term interdisciplinary learning design, as it most likely will transcend curriculum units and incorporate curriculum across a number of our different programs. But at the core, you're going to design a sequence of learning, teaching and learning for students. Along with that, you're going to publish and articulate that learning design through a website. Associated with your design will be a poster that's going to pitch the design to prospective stakeholders. You're going to do the project yourself and develop a prototype of the project that you're asking students to do. And finally, you're going to create a designer statement, which is going to articulate your vision as a designer of learning. I'm going to try to model interdisciplinary learning. We're going to work like teachers and designers. We're going to draw on tools, criteria, ways of thinking, and processes from both of those disciplines in order to answer our essential question. And underpinning all of this is the big idea that teachers need to be intentional and reflective designers of learning. And to that end, throughout this project, you're going to be called upon to reflect on what this work means to you and how you're learning about yourself and about yourself as a designer. We're going to have a large number of community connections. Many of these people are going to support our learning through a podcast that I'm going to do. Throughout the course, I'll be having conversations with experts about the topics that you're going to work with, recording those as a podcast and making them available for you as little mini lessons to provide you with support and scaffolding, as well as to ensure authenticity, because we're working like experts. We want to engage with experts to support us through that. And we're going to exhibit our work in a couple of ways. There's a course-wide with all the sections, public exhibition of learning that's going to take place October 31st in McEwen Hall. Because of our online course section, we're going to be displaying our posters there via digital format, and you won't be there synchronously to meet with folks. So we're also going to have a class exhibition on our final Adobe Connect session where you're going to have the chance to pitch your unit design to your peers and gallery that in a beautiful way with your poster and associated deliverables. Okay, that's likely a lot to take in. So what I want you to understand is that you're not going to be left from now to the end to take it up In fact, for me, project-based learning is all about scaffolding and designing a sequence of steps to support you, to support all learners to get to the deliverables and make and create something they're proud of. So to that end, we are going to have intermediate deliverables built in throughout our course. Intermediate deliverables for me are a checkpoint where you get critique and revision from peers or instructor in order to improve your work and also to make sure that you're on track and moving towards the destination. We'll dig into each of those throughout. Also importantly to understand is that there's going to be a great deal of scaffolding. Each week we'll be working through activities and protocols to collaborate with one another, as well as mini lessons to build towards these final deliverables. You can browse through an overview of the scope and sequence of that work here. An important caveat is that as the designer of learning, I've got an idea of the steps that we're going to take, but I also know as a designer of learning that needs to be, those steps need to flex in response to your needs. So this weekly schedule is meant to provide you with an example of where I think we're going to be at each of the steps, as well as with a prototype for you to understand what the expectations are when you design your website in terms of the level of depth. So as you can see, I don't have individual lesson plans here. It's much more of an overview of the types of scaffolding and mini lessons and assessment opportunities that are going to be built in and intermediate deliverables that are going to be built into the course. What I want you to understand at this point, so that you're not overwhelmed, is that I recognize that we're creating some very extensive, important deliverables, and so my work is to design the steps for you to get there. Again, we're going to pursue each of these individual component parts of what is expected of you through sub-videos. The purpose of this video is more to provide you with a big overview of what to expect. I think the important messages to take away is this is going to be a model of project-based learning. I'm going to try to walk the talk. All the things that I expect of you, I'm going to have built into the way we do this course. And I want you to make this work relevant for you. The goal of these deliverables is to have them be things you can use for your portfolio and have them be important skills and processes that you can bring to the students that you serve and the school communities that you work with as professional. Likely you have a lot of questions stemming from this video. I encourage you to watch some of the other videos and also to pursue the Ask Josh forum in order to get some answers to the questions that might be popping right now for you. Thanks for watching.